what can we all do to ensure our voting rights for the future? What can we do?
First of all, you have to let people know that they can report any irregularities. And then if they see them, they need to do that, because then it becomes that part of the citizenry that's your responsibility. You know, you can't go and pray that your neighbor will take up your battle, because it didn't happen to your neighbor.
Well, presumably in the 2000 election and the 2004 election, there were people who reported the irregularities. We saw on the trailer just now, this woman said, I knew something was wrong. So it seems that's a step, that's an important step. But after reporting that, what can we do in terms of new laws, new legislation?
Well, and there's this great quote by Lily Tomlin that says, I always thought that somebody should do something about that, and then I realized I was that somebody. And I think it's important to feel empowered, regardless of your level of knowledge of electoral issues, whether it's just voting, reporting irregularities that you experience, or if you have particular skills that could be lent to these electoral integrity organizations. If you're a lawyer, you can certainly help to craft good legislation that will help to overcome some of these systemic problems. So it's really looking at your role as a citizen, an active citizen, in the way that things are shaped. Knowing that if this is truly a democracy and that's truly what you want, then you have a part to play in that. No matter how small or big or whatever, there is some part. So it's looking at your skill set, seeking out those organizations. Maybe it's on November 4th if there is signs of foul play, holding a protest in your community, an organized demonstration. It's also looking to other sources of information beyond the mainstream media, because what was happening is reporters were being actually censored when they tried to reveal information of misconduct in 2004. Greg Palast is an investigative journalist for the BBC News, and he reported when all the major mainstream media outlets in the US were telling a different story. So I think it's important to be educated and important to figure out, what is my role, how can I participate, and then to do that, to find that way to participate. We have tons of ways to get active, both short-term and long-term, listed on our website if people want more ideas.
And what's your
Our website is stealingamerica.org.
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 I think we also have to take the media, hold the media to task, not to accept just the first thing that's easy, to actually get out and do investigative reporting.
That used to be done.
It used to be done, and with the consolidation of media in the hands of a very few, we've ceded that too. Those are our airwaves. That's our tax dollar. We own those airwaves. We should be demanding that.
To whom should we, or from whom should we be demanding?
No, that's a federal issue.
FCC.
FCC. The FCC has the right to tell that. But the media. We have to demand also from the media that they become active and interested, and that they're not part of the problem, that they're part of the solution.
Dorsey.
One thing that we did was in 2005, we sued for the right to vote. I'm currently in litigation whether or not a person can vote while they're on parole. So some parts of this thing is, how do we not only get lawyers to craft interesting legislation, how do you get them to stand up and actually help enforce the laws that we currently have? No,
you said you sued. Whom did you sue?
We sued the state of California in a case called the League of Women Voters versus Bruce McPherson. And that's what established the right to vote. So some of these things that I talk about, I walked over to the ACLU and said, this category of human beings have had the right to vote since 1974. You know, and some of us actually do sit down and spend days reading stuff about small stuff like history, you know, small stuff like the Joint Committee on Reconstruction.
That doesn't sound so small.
You know, but you know, somebody got to do this stuff.
There.
You know, somebody got to do this. And when it come down to the right to vote, I feel so strongly about it, is that I think people on parole should have the right to vote, because it's important for them not only to be able to vote for the President of the United States. I want people to be able to vote for who's elected on the school board, who's elected as the district attorney, who's elected as the sheriff. Those are elected positions. I want to vote on the harbor master.